everyone, and welcome to Undeniable. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, APU basketball player Mick Robertson. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. So, can you tell me a little bit about your basketball journey and why, out of all sports, basketball became your passion?
I feel like I chose basketball because I would always be playing with my dad. He'd always take me to the gym when I was younger, and I liked it better than baseball. Baseball was a little bit too boring for me, and football, a little bit too much contact, so basketball was like a good thing. And then the journey started out just playing since I was a kid, since I can remember. Wasn't always good though. I wasn't always a good player. Really struggled a lot actually. But I just kept working and thankfully ended up here. So.
And what do you think specifically helped you get to that point, the point that you are at now?
I went to junior college before this. It was kind of like in the middle of nowhere in Iowa. So like spending those 2 years out there and really having to decide like if I'm gonna go all in on this was a big part. And I knew that if I could make it out of there, then like everything else is possible. So.
And do you have a pre-game ritual, something that you do before the game, or like your hype music, like something that is your go-to?
It honestly varies a lot. I kind of like to be on more of the quiet side, just to get my thoughts together. Our pregame music is pretty loud, pretty flamboyant, so I can get pumped up off of that. But before the game, I'm trying to get up some shots if we're at home. Get up some shots, just kind of like do that routine stuff like dribbling, form shooting, and yeah.
And so you have a clothing brand called God's Plan My Work. Can you tell me why you wanted to start this business and how you chose your company's name?
Yeah. I actually had a clothing brand in the past. I ran it with a former friend of mine. Kind of like with schedule and just different ideas, we kind of took two separate paths. So at the end of this summer, I was like, I kind of feel like getting back into it. I chose the name because something that me and my friend from back home have been saying for a while. It's not necessarily just a Christian brand, but I just know that name stuck with me, and then like just take the initials GPMW, can kind of just put that on anything. So.
Yeah. And how has that been going so far?
It's been going well, honestly. Been dropping kind of like bi-weekly. We were doing weekly, but I mean with school and basketball, it's just tight, as you probably know. So yeah, it's been going well though. A lot more traction, a lot more people like buying things, and a lot more customers than I expected so far, for sure.
And so speaking of that, balancing school, balancing basketball, and your brand, talk a little bit more about how that has been overall, that process, and like how do you schedule everything?
Yeah, I've really had to lean into my calendar and like real time management stuff that I've never really done before. Before I'd kind of just put everything in my mind and go from there. Now I really have to type things out on my calendar, set everything up. So as of right now for this semester, I'm waking up, going to class. All my classes are in the morning, and I have practice after that. Usually like to get there early and stay late. Have to get treatment as well because my body feel like it's breaking down now that I'm getting older. And then for the most part, nights are pretty much just film, dinner, and then brand work, content, all that type of stuff.
So a pretty balanced schedule.
Yeah.
And so imagine it's All-Star Weekend,
Okay.
and you are the team captain of the basketball game, and you get to pick the players on your team from the NBA. Who would you choose? Your starting lineup.
Starting lineup? Out of anybody, I have to go Steph for sure.
Of course.
Got to be able to stretch the floor. I'll throw LeBron on there. I mean, you might as well. Let me think who else. I'll go Luka. Luka's been killing. And then I'll probably pick like Jokic just to move the ball around.
Awesome. Good starting five.
Yeah, for sure.
And so on your Instagram Reels and your TikTok, you've been producing content known as A Day in Your Life.
Right.
What inspired you to start sharing your journey or your daily routine with your followers?
Yeah. It started last year around October. It was the same time that me and my friend at the time had that kind of split with the clothing brand. So I was left with some time on my hands. I think 2 days after we split and that thing ended, I hopped into TikTok. At the time, I had like 12,000 followers, and since then, especially last year, I was posting every day consistently. I've kind of fallen off a little bit recently just with time and stuff, but yeah, that kind of like what just inspired it. It wasn't any motive, really, just needed a creative outlet. And then over like the last year, just been crazy in terms of like the people who like recognize me in public or something that's just a very weird feeling. Yeah, and brand deals and all that type of stuff, so it's been cool.
Yeah, I think TikTok is a huge platform that is so important to take advantage of, and like continuing to produce content daily is a challenge, but once the videos are doing well, it's all worth it. And you mentioned brand deals, so recently you did a back to school ad unboxing of Adidas gear from Dick's Sporting Goods. How does it feel, like you were saying, to have your hard work pay off and be recognized by these bigger brands?
It was a surreal feeling, especially like the first time a couple of big brands reached out. Honestly, I've probably turned down about 95% of the deals or the companies that hit me up just because I feel like the monetary, like the money isn't right, just doesn't fit my niche or anything like that. But it's been great. I remember Adidas or Dick's, like the agency for them, hit me up, and I was like, wow, this is actually real. So it's wild.
And what is some advice that your coach has like told you or told your team that like you'll remember, or something that any one of your coaches have ever told you that kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, let me think. I'll probably go back to junior college and I'll say we had an assistant coach there, Coach Jay, shout out to him. He always just said like, never like downplay or never end yourself. And in that situation, like he was referring to a lot of people can be successful, but they end up doing something that goes against themselves that can hurt them in the long run. And so if you never go against yourself and you just focus on staying true to who you are and being able to fight all adversity, you never turn on yourself, then really kind of like anything's possible, as cliche as it sounds. So,
Absolutely. And so what game would you say has been the most memorable so far?
Most memorable at APU?
Or like, okay, let's do both. One at APU and one at General.
Okay, I would say at APU, it would have to be Biola on the road. It was a really like intense environment. It was packed. It was like one of the only packed games we had last year because of COVID. But yeah, their gym was packed, super loud. It was a super fun environment. We pulled out the win, so that was cool. And then I'll probably throw it back to high school. We had pretty big in-city rivalry, and it would always be so lit. So yeah.
High school games, I feel like, are top.
I would say arguably more lit than college.
Honestly, because my school, we had a big rivalry, and our basketball team was good, and their basketball team was good, and the gym was packed. People were saying stuff. It was it was something you won't forget.
No, for sure.
And so, what does the word undeniable mean to you when you think about that? What does that mean to you?
I would say undeniable would be along the terms of like relentless, in terms of like nobody can stop you, nothing can stop you, and I feel like that kind of plays into everything that we talked about in terms of the brand, in terms of my past coach's advice, and like having God as your center. I feel like with God, anything is actually possible, and so no matter what type of adversity or people or anything's against you, like if you're gonna be undeniable, it doesn't matter.
That's great. That's a little advice in there as well.
For sure.
So, okay, so I want to go into some would you rather questions.
Oh, man, all right.
Okay, so would you rather lose the championship or never make the playoffs?
I would say lose the championship.
Why?
Just because it means that you obviously like went the farthest besides the team that beat you. And I don't know. I just think the memories of that too, like that journey probably, because it would be like 4 or 5 wins to get to that point, would be special. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you get all the way to that moment even though
it's going to hurt.
Even though you lost. Yeah. I mean, you still have the memories.
Right.
You know that you could potentially get there again.
Right.
So would you rather hit the game-winning shot in an NBA game or have the chance to play Michael Jordan one-on-one?
I'm gonna have to play Mike one-on-one.
Really?
I gotta see what the hype's about.
Really?
He's my favorite player. He's the GOAT for sure, but I gotta see it myself. So.
You don't get the hype?
I know, I get the hype. It's just like I gotta experience like
The
how
hype.
like I gotta experience like firsthand.
So what if he like shows you up? Then you're just.
I mean, I hope he would if he's the greatest of all time. But
Oh, you're just like.
yeah.
Or what if you show him up? Then you're the greatest.
That would be crazy. Like even just to get a bucket
Mm-hmm.
versus prime Michael Jordan. I mean, that's gonna be so memorable. So yeah.
Would you rather never win a championship but get $30 million a year, or win 5 NBA championships but only get $3 million a year?
In the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. I'm not gonna lie, I'll lean on that 30 mil just because at that level, winning a championship is great, but it's also about like securing the funds for family, endorsements, all that type of stuff. So yeah.
But don't you think you could like, if you do it well, $3 million a year, you could like.
You could
And you
stack
have
it.
the rings to take your photos, and like people can't really say anything about you because like you have 5 rings.
You can, but like if you making 3 mil and you won 5 rings, you're definitely not the guy on that team. So
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
it's like people gonna
True.
try to knock you regardless. So,
True. While
yeah.
everyone's making like 100 million.
Exactly.
You're just there. Okay, last one. Would you rather have the shooting ability of Steph Curry or the dunking ability of LeBron James?
I would say dunking ability for sure.
Really?
Like Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, but I feel like one of my best like skills is shooting too.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm definitely closer to that than I am of the.
He's
of
like,
the,
I am Steph Curry.
Nah, not on that. But I'm closer to that than dunking like LeBron. I mean, he's just different. So yeah.
I feel like I get that, but I feel like the amount of times you can dunk in a game versus the amount of times you can shoot, it's like.
Nah, that is fact. But because I've never been a dunker, I feel like I'll just take that, just to throw it in my bag for like the one time.
The
game.
cockiness, the
Yeah,
confidence,
hanging
the
on the rim
pictures.
and all that.
Honestly, okay, so thank you so much for
So-
coming on this podcast today. You are on episode 2, and it was such a pleasure having you. Shout out your social medias. Anything you want to say? Just
All the social medias are at McKelary, McKelary, and yeah.
yeah. Okay, great. We look forward to seeing you continue to dominate in your
Appreciate
basketball
you.
career.
Thank you.